Hi everyone, today I am here to bring you a Pilates Springboard workout using a slider. As far as equipment goes for this workout, what you need is a springboard, a tower, or a Cadillac, a mat for later. We're not going to lie our mat out just right in the beginning, and also a slider. Now if you don't have a slider, you could use a folded up towel, just a small towel to put under the ball of your foot. You could also use a paper plate if you happen to be on carpet, and sometimes I've seen people use like a little oven mitt, like one of those little squares, and that works great if you're on a hardwood floor. As always during this workout, please feel free to modify as necessary and make this workout your own. When you're ready, let's get started. All right guys, so I am all set up. I've got my short arm springs attached to my roll down bar. I've placed them on number 9. That's about head height for me, or a bit above shoulder height. I have long purple springs with loops on the side here, and that's all we're gonna use today. So pretty simple, and of course your slider. So we're gonna start standing. Just place your slider down on the floor. Again, I haven't put my mat out just yet because we will be using the slider on the hardwood floor. Again, if you have carpet, you could always use a paper plate as your slider. So from here, we're just going to grab our bar. I want you to bring your feet sit bone distance apart, stand up very, very tall, and start with just a slight bit of tension on your springs with your arms long in front of you. Take a moment to adjust your spine so that you are standing very, very tall and that the crown of your head is just reaching towards the ceiling. Your ribs are sliding down to your hips and your belly is already braced. A slight tiny bend in the knee so that you're not locking out in the knee joint. When you're ready, take a breath, inhale, and then exhale, just pull that bar down towards your thighs. Inhale and let that bar float away from you, and exhale, pull the bar back in towards your thighs. Nice long elbows here. Working from the back body to pull that bar in. Marrying your breath to your movement right away. Exhale and inhale, and exhale and inhale. Let's do 4 more here, and 3 and 2 and 1. Now I want you to hold that bar in towards your thighs. Think about the crown of the head reaching towards the ceiling. Slowly roll the heels up off of the floor, coming up into a releve, and then lower the feet back down. Release the bar, and we go again. Press, lift, lower, release. Press, lift, lower, release. On that calf raise or that heel lift, think about the heels coming straight up through the center of the calf. Let's do 4 more here. And 3. Last 2, nice and controlled. And 1 more time. Now the heels can come down. We're going to go back to that press towards the thighs, but I want you to add upper body flexion. So the tailbone is still pointing down towards the floor, but as you pull that bar down, your upper body is going to flex forward, similar to how you would do a chest lift on the floor. Exhale, curl the upper back forward. Feel the abdominals engage. Feel the ribs slide down to the hips. Again, exhale. And inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curl forward. Inhale, lengthen. Let's do 2 more. And 1 more time. Nice job. Now you can keep your heels on the floor here, or you can lift your heels up. So we're gonna press the bar down. We're gonna lift the heels up as that option. We're gonna curl the head, neck, and chest forward. And now we're gonna start our 100. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. And inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. And inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Good, nice strong pumps of the arms. Take more of the work into your core. Try to give the arms a slight bit of a break or support. 4 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. If this is too much tension on the upper body, move towards your tower. Last 2. Last time. Nice job. From here, take a big step back. Your feet are still sit bone distance apart. Your hands have floated up to about shoulder height. Take a breath, inhale here, and exhale. On your next inhale, pull the bar to your chest and find back extension. Gaze goes up to the ceiling, elbows go wide, and then return. And again, pull, sternum lifts, gaze goes up, and return. This does not have to be a huge movement. We're just waking up the back. Tailbone is still pointing down towards the floor. Last 4, 3, and 1 more time. Nice job. Step in closer. Grab your slider. Now I've put the fabric part of the slider down because I am on hardwood. I'm going to take it underneath one of my feet, the ball of the foot, and then we're going to work on a bit of a lunge. So stable front leg, a slight bend in the knee. Pull your bar in towards your hips like we did before. Hinge the upper body over and slide the slider back as you extend your arms forward. Now pull the elbows in towards your ribs as you bend the back knee in. Extend the arms forward as you extend the back leg out, and then stand and pull the bar towards your thighs. So that's a lot. So again, as we hinge forward, we reach our arms forward, the slider goes back. Then we pull the elbows into our ribs, the slider comes in. Extend the leg, the arms go forward. Stand up, the arms come in. Let's move a little bit quicker now. Down and out, in, out, up and in. Down and out, in, out, up and in. We'll do 8. Building some heat in the body. 7, 6, and of course you can move at a slower pace. You do not have to move this quickly. I'm just looking to get my heart rate to rise, bring some blood flow into the body. Last 2, last 1. Nice. Now you're going to come back over into your hinge and just the scooter. So elbows in as the knee comes in. Nice deep bend in that front knee. For 8, steady balance. 7, 6. I have a little bit of downward pressure on my bar here just to engage the lats. Last 3, 2, and 1. Now extend your arms and your leg, and now you're just going to pulse back a slight bit here for 16, 15. Nice, working that front glute. Last 8, 7, 6. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way up. Very nice job. Let's switch the slider over to the other foot, and we'll continue on the other side. So soften both knees here. Press the bar towards your thighs. As you hinge over and extend your opposite leg back, the arms go forward. Then the elbows bend as the knee bends. The elbows straighten as the leg straightens, and we come up. 1 more slow. Down and out. In, out, up and in. Here we go. A little quicker if you want. I always have a little tension on my springs. Let's do 8, 7, Rib to hip connection throughout. 6. Last 4. 3. Last 1. Come back down into your hinge, just the scooter. In. That's it. Last 8, 7. Last 2 and 1. Now hold the leg and the arm out and we pulse. Last 8, 7, 6. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Move that slider off to the side for a minute. Let's slide inside our springs, facing out. I like my hands wide here. I'm gonna lean forward slightly. My feet are close to one another. We'll start with just a press of both arms forward, gauging the distance you'd like to be from your tower. So I'm really gonna try to challenge myself today and work a little further away than I normally would. Spine is long. That's it. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now hold your arms long. Take one of your feet forward. I'm on the ball of that front foot. I'm gonna bend my elbows and lift that foot up off of the floor. I'm gonna reach my arms and tap that foot down lightly. Bend and lift and tap. Bend and lift and tap. Now if you want to eliminate the tap and just hover the foot, that's another added challenge for the balance. Nice and steady here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that foot back. Stabilize through the upper body. Bring your other foot forward. And again, here we go. Lifting and lowering the knee. Trying to keep the body on an angle forward. Harder on this side for me. Last 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Now last thing we're gonna do here is a march. So you still have tension on those springs. You lift one and then the other knee. One and then the other knee. Arms stay long. And then if you'd like, you can pick up that pace to make it more of a jog. Hands are slightly below the line of the shoulder. 8, 7, 6. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Control the spring back. Come on out of there. Nice. All right, guys, so we're gonna turn sideways now. I am gonna hold on to this bar for a slight bit of support. You don't necessarily have to. You could do this free floating in space. If you feel like this adds just too much complication, remove it, okay? Otherwise, you have a little bit of tension on your bar and your hand is just holding on for a little bit of gentle support. I put the slider underneath my outside foot. We're gonna step out and in into a squat here. So outside hand can be on your hip. We squat down, we come up. We squat down, we come up. That's it. I've got a slight bit of turnout in both feet because that's what's most comfortable for my knees. Okay, pay attention to what you need to do for your knees. That's it. 4 more here. If you are holding onto that bar, try not to let it bounce around too much, but keep a little bit of tension throughout. Now we're going to stay down in our squat, shift our weight into our foot that's closest to the tower, and extend and bend our outside leg. That's it. For 8, 7, last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now hold that leg out, and again, we pulse down and out, down and out. Hips are going back and down. For 8, 7, last 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Come up and in. Let's turn around to face the other way. Grabbing onto that bar for support if you'd like. We're gonna start with that squat. So ball of the outside foot is on our slider. We're coming down and up, down and up. Good, 8, 7, last 4, last 2, and 1. Come on down into your squat. Shift your weight into your inside foot. Hips are way back. We press out and in with that outside leg. For 8, 7, last 4, last 3, last 2, and 1. Hold the leg out and pulse out with that leg. Good. 8, 7, 6, last 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Stand up. Let's move the slider out of the way. We'll come back to it kind of towards the end of the session. But if you have that mat now and you need to put it out, you're going to line it up in front of your tower. Good. We're going to be kneeling at points. If you know that you need a squishy mat underneath your knees, you could grab that as well. I'm going to start by moving my roll down bar down lower. So I'm moving it down to number 7 on my springboard, okay? From here, we're gonna come down to lay down on our back with our head towards the tower. Grab onto our bar. Bring the bar over the shoulders and hold it there. Collarbones wide, shoulders are nice and weighted on the mat. Lift your heels and just allow your toes to be down. Slide your ribs down to your hips. Now we're gonna lift one knee into tabletop, bring that toe down and lift the other knee into tabletop. Making this movement reciprocal as an option. Otherwise you can place one foot before the other foot lifts. And the bar is just still. Stabilizing through the torso. Let's do 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and both knees come up. Flex the feet. Choose an angle that suits your body, and extend one leg forward at a time. Slow and steady. Heels in line with the hips. For 8, 7, 6, last 2, and 1, and now we go to straight leg scissors. One leg up, one leg forward, switch, and switch. If you'd like to add a little bar press towards the shin, you are welcome to. For 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Both legs up to the ceiling here. Lower the legs forward a bit. Lift the legs up a bit. Now this could be an inch. Does not have to be all the way to the floor. Your knees can be bent. Good. Choose the option that works for your body today. If you'd like to add that arm press forward as the legs come up, feel free. 4 more. And 3. Can you hear the struggle in my voice? The last 2. And 1. Nice job. Hug the knees in. We've got one more exercise here, which is a variation on double leg stretch. So we go heels together, knees apart, bar forward towards the shins. Maybe it taps the top of the knees. Extend the legs forward as the arms go up. Bring the arms forward as the legs come in. Option to add a little hip lift as the knees come in with control. 4. Again, your angle of your leg extension's up to you. 2. And 1. Take your legs over your bar. Reach your arms up towards your tower and scoot your way a full arm's distance out. Multiple layers here. So to start, the knees are into the chest. Tailbone is as heavy as you can make it. My elbows are slightly wide and they have a soft bend. I'm using my upper body. From here, press the feet down and lift them up. Feet down and up. Nice neutral pelvis. Working from the glutes to press. Last 3. Last 2. And then the feet stay down. Now the hips lift up and roll down. And hips lift up and roll down. So try to articulate on the way up as well. Nice. Now we're going to combine these 2 movements. So 1 more hip lift. When the hips come down, the knees will lift. Now the feet will press and the hips will lift. Good. Now you can stay here, or we can keep the hips up as the knees lift into the chest. So feet come down, roll the hips up, use the upper body, lift the knees into the chest, and then roll the spine down. Feet come down, hips lift, maybe hips stay lifted, knees come to the chest, and roll the hips down. We'll do 2 more like that. Hips lift, knees lift, roll. 1 more, hips lift, knees lift, roll. Let's reverse this. So again, you don't have to lift the hips, or keep the hips lifted, but it's an option there. Knees into the chest, hips lift. Try to get your knees over your shoulders. Now we're going to try to get our feet down before our hips. So we open up the fronts of the hip sockets and land the toes and the heels, and then we roll down. So knees to chest, hips lift, feet before the hips, roll down. Let's do 3 more. If you can't get those hips to stay up, please don't beat yourself up about it. You could raise the springs up higher so you had more tension. You could work on your bridges and your glute strength and your pelvic stability, and then come back to this exercise in a few months. Good. Last 1. And lower. Very nice job. Let's remove our bar. We're going to come up to kneeling, facing in towards the tower for a thigh stretch. So at this point, if you'd like to put a cushion underneath your knees, it's a good opportunity to do so. I want your feet together behind you and your knees about shoulder distance apart, anchored down through the shins. Find a long spine. Imagine you're in a kneeling plank here. Press the bar down to your thighs slightly. Lean the body back. Come on up. Release that pressure on the bar. press. So we're back to chest expansion like we did in the beginning. Last 2 and 1. Nice. Now we're going to continue on, but bring the bar into our chest instead and work on a little bit of back extension. So elbows wide, lean the body back, lift the sternum high, find chest expansion, find back extension, then close the ribs to the hips and come on up. And again, lean, sternum lifts. If you'd like to take this further back, feel free. I'm going to try a few, bringing my head further towards the floor. 2 more to go. And 1. Nice job. Stand all the way up, please. Let's get rid of this bar. And we're gonna move to our long purple leg springs. I'm putting them up high. I'm going to level 10. That's above head height for me, okay? We're gonna kneel facing away, grabbing your straps with your hands. If this feels too heavy, go for your long yellow springs or your short yellow springs, but attach your handles or your loops, it doesn't matter, and lower them down a few notches, okay? I'm backed up so my heels are against my wooden dowel, and I'm pressing my pelvis forward so I still have that long spine. Back of the neck is long, and now we're just bringing the arms down to the sides and floating them up. And I want you to think about, as the arms come down, that can assist you in growing taller through the spine. Big exhale. Inhale, arms reach all the way across the room. Big exhale. Last 4. And 3. And 2, and 1. Nice. Now we just stand up. I'm gonna bring one leg forward of the other. Arms nice and wide. I have a forward lean in my posture, rib to hip connection, and then arms scoop in and out, and scoop in and out. And most of this exercise, for me at least, is the controlling of the springs on the way out. So slowly extending the muscles. That eccentric contraction. Last 2 on this leg. And last 1. Nice. Now we carefully step back. We switch out the legs and come in and out. Now, in all honesty, for me, these leg loops are hurting my thumbs slightly. So if I were to do this again, I would choose to put my handles on. So I always want you to know that, nobody is perfect. Instructors make mistakes. Instructors learn as they go. They make adjustments to their workouts based on the feedback their body gives. If you're taking sessions in a studio, if your instructor is not learning from their mistakes, if they're not taking sessions of their own, then, do your research, and maybe you need to move on to somebody who's interested in their own learning as well. Last one here. Nice job. Come all the way up. We're going to move these springs down and do a brief little legs and straps. So I'm going to level 5. Coming down. Arms distance away from your dowel. Feet in the loops. Arms down by the sides if possible, arms up if necessary. Frog here. Align your body with the center of your tower. Knees just hips distance apart, not wider. You want to have some engagement in the inner thighs. Bend and straighten the legs. Again, working on that control on the in. Tailbone heavy. Nice neutral pelvis. Working those glutes. The movement is not coming from the feet. Last 3. Nice, and 2. And 1, hold the legs long, parallel off the feet, lift and lower the legs. Good, hinging at the hips. Sometimes I'll put my fingers or my thumbs right in my hip crease so that I know that I'm not also tilting the pelvis. That was extreme, but I'm not also tilting the pelvis as my legs come up, but I'm maintaining that neutral spine. That ability to disconnect from the upper to the lower body. Let's do 1 of each here. So you're gonna lift in parallel, lower in parallel, externally rotate, bend the heels in and out. Parallel lift, parallel lower, external rotation, press. Hip mobility. Last 3. Steady gaze. And 1. Nice. Now press those legs back out parallel, lift them up, externally rotate them and circle them around. Come back to parallel as you come up through the center. Circles as big or small as feels comfortable. Length through your straps throughout. 3, 2, 1, reverse. Good. Sorry about this air conditioning noise. I try to eliminate it in my video edits, but it's impossible. It's just the air conditioning unit is like right outside the door. I do love this building, but that is the one negative. Last 3, and 2, and 1. Very nice job. Bend those knees in. Let's take those guys off. We're gonna roll up our mat and use the sliders one last time. So I'm gonna roll it up towards my tower. I'm folding it in thirds so that I have a little bit of a cushion for the heels of my hands. Right, that's just more comfortable for my wrists. You could also, if you have a box, if you have a box, you could put your forearms on the box and then be off of your hands. Take the slider underneath one foot, bring your hands to the edge of your mat, find a plank position. From here, we're gonna bring that knee in and out, and in and out. You might stay here. If you'd like to, extend your slider, cross your foot that's on the floor over the ankle that's on the slider, and pull in and out. Good. Rounded spine as you come in. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently knees down, especially if you're on a hardwood floor. Switch that slider over to the other side. Find your plank, draw that slider in and out. For 4. Now 1 more set with the option to cross the ankle. Here we go. Try to keep those shoulders over the wrists. 4 more. And 1. Gently knees down. 1 more exercise on each side. Slide that slider over. You have options. 1 knee down on the floor. Sliding your leg out and over. Hover the knee off the floor. Slide the leg out and over. Find plank. Slide the leg out and over. So you choose. Continuing to work on that hip mobility. And your obliques. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Simply switch sides. The opposite knee can be down, out and over. Knee can hover, or leg can extend. Hips are square to the floor. For 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Let's finish in a plank of your choosing. I'm gonna come down to my forearms. I'm actually gonna take both feet, both little toes, onto the slider. You do not have to do this. You can also be on your knees, you can be on your toes. But if you have both sets of toes on the slider, hover the knees and press out into plank and hold. Exhaling that breath, keeping the spine nice and long. Keeping that slider steady is a trick in and of itself. And you've got 8, 7, 6, last 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Gently knees down. Very nice job. Come up onto hands and knees. Round and arch the back a few times. One more time. Nice job. And you guys are all done. I hope you like that springboard workout. The sliders are quite handy because you can use so many home accessories if you don't have a slider. So try to add them into your workout. See what you think. As always, please subscribe and share and join the membership if you haven't already. There's hundreds of more videos on there to take advantage of. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.